Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife. The Narcissist's Law of Love. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Love is a many-splendored thing. Love is all around. Love is in the air. Love conquers all. Love is all you need. Many of you will be familiar with the corrupting influence of the narcissist in relation to so many aspects of life. And I think it is fair to say that the narcissist's corruption of the concept of love ranks as one of the most unpleasant and distressing aspects that can occur for a victim of a narcissist. Whether it is that child who has been led to believe that the love that they have received from the narcissistic parent is actual love, when in actual fact it is something entirely different, or whether it is the belief that that awe-inspiring, mountain-climbing, chasm-jumping, crawling over broken glass dedication between two intimate partners is a form of love, when in actual fact it's just an artifice. Wherever it appears, the narcissist takes hold of love and bends it to the will of the narcissist. As I have made abundantly clear, the narcissist does not love, for the narcissist has no emotional empathy. The unaware narcissist believes that they love because the narcissist makes the narcissist believe that. And what then follows is the narcissistic representation of love. Basically, all of the exciting, shiny, sparkling stuff that finds its way into Hallmark cards, romantic novels, films, television programs, poetry and such like, but is actually just a manifestation of the narcissistic vision of love, rather than, as I have come to understand from other people, what love really is about. Love is founded on emotional empathy. Narcissists don't have any. It therefore follows the narcissist cannot love. The narcissist owns. The narcissist is infatuated. The narcissist conquers and dominates. The narcissist abuses. But the narcissist never loves. Ever. The narcissist is incapable of doing so. But what this does allow you to understand is how the narcissist applies love, and there are two instances of the narcissist's law of love brought to you courtesy of none other than this one's wife. Here's a short clip from a recent episode of her ghastly lifestyle program with Love Meghan. Do have a watch of this.
Was there a moment that you were like, oh no, I know that I love this guy?
Yes, that was our third date.
You fell in love on your third date?
We met in Botswana and we camped for 5 days together.
Oh, so you really had time to fall in love in those few days. That's nice.
But you really get to know somebody when you're in a little tent together, and there's like, what is that outside the tent? That's an elephant. Are we gonna be safe? Yeah, you're safe.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you tell him first, or did he tell you?
He told me.
Oh, that's nice. That's really You started to blush. I will stop this line of questioning.
Still got it.
You still got it.
Plenty of interesting things to pick out of this exchange between this one's wife and I think it's Tan France, the queer eye guy or such like. I'm not fully familiar with who he is other than through this program. He asked, was there a moment that you were like, oh no, I know that I love this guy? This one's wife, knowing of course that this question is coming because it's been planted with Tan France, states, yes, that was our third date. Now, pausing there's a red flag in itself. An early declaration of love is a narcissistic indicator. It doesn't of itself mean that the person is a narcissist, but narcissists tend to believe that they fall in love very quickly because that's the demand of the narcissism. By explaining to you, the prospective victim, that this individual, the narcissist that you don't know is a narcissist, loves you, you're more likely to be swept off your feet. You're more likely to reciprocate. Furthermore, it may well be that the narcissist makes noises to cause you to declare your love early because you're being misled by the speed at which the relationship is proceeding. But the fact is, you don't know anybody properly by the time of a third date. Have you seen them when they're tired, angry, under pressure at work? Do you know who all their friends are? Do you know what they do for a living? Of course, with this one's wife, it's a little different because, although she claims she knew nothing about Harry beforehand, of course, she was getting involved with someone who was famous. So you would certainly know a lot more about him compared to the average Joe. But in general terms, you don't know enough about a person by the stage of the third date to form any view. Yes, you may find them attractive and fun and interesting, but that isn't a sound basis on potentially going on to have a child with a person, living together, putting your finances together, and investing so much of your life. I've explained elsewhere in my video The Biggest Investment You'll Ever Make, the haphazard way by which people go into relationships, and that's why they so readily fall prey to narcissists. The narcissist doesn't care. The narcissist will say that they love you because it's merely a means of manipulation. Most narcissists don't realise that, but that's what they're doing. And here this one's wife declares that it was the third date that she knew that she was in love. And so he repeats back, you fell in love on your third date. This one's wife then explains that they had met in Botswana, which of course is where Harry took all of his girlfriends, and that they camped for 5 days together. Interestingly, 5 days isn't that long. Okay, by spending that time in effect living together, you get a better appreciation of that person. So you might understand what they're like when they go to sleep and that they snore and other factors like that. So it does give you more insight, but it's still not a particularly long period of time. And notice Mr. France's reaction. Oh, so you really had time to fall in love in those few days. Again, falling in love over a few days is dangerous. And obviously from this one's wife isn't realistic, because she's a narcissist that has no emotional empathy, therefore she doesn't love, she just believes that she does. He announces, that's nice. She explains, you really get to know somebody when you're in a little tent together. Well, she might get to know more about Harry. He certainly didn't get to know more about her other than what her narcissism would allow him to see, because of course he didn't know what he was dealing with. He didn't know that he was getting into bed, both figuratively and literally, with a narcissist. And to describe it as a little tent is ridiculous because they're in some kind of £2,500 a night glamping scenario. So it's hardly a zip-up tent which sleeps two right next to one another in sleeping bags. And she goes on and says, and there's like, what is outside the tent? There's an elephant. Are we going to be safe? And of course, all this over-the-top acting. Yeah, you're safe, she explains. And then Mr. France moves in to ask, did you tell him first or did he tell you? And of course, here is where we have the law of narcissism, or one of them, in relation to love. Everybody must love the narcissist, for the narcissist is eminently lovable. Now, it may well be the case that she said, at the time that she loved Harry first. It's quite common for a narcissist to do that as part of bringing that intimate partner primary source under control. But when it comes to the recollection of this event in front of the TV cameras, she has to demonstrate that she's the desirable one, that Harry was hot to trot for her, because naturally she's the world's most beautifully stunning woman, utterly desirable, and therefore she needs to paint a picture in front of the TV cameras that he fell first for her and said as such. That may not have happened, and so what we're witnessing is the revision of history. But either way, what we are also seeing is that law of love for the narcissist, which is everybody must love me. Everybody must love me and admire me and praise me and adore me, because that is what the narcissist thrives upon by way of pure positive fuel and control. And notice the smug look that follows thereafter. The fact is, two laws are evident in this short exchange. The first is the narcissist does not love, for the narcissist has no emotional empathy. The narcissist uses love, as a means to get to the prime aims, and that's why its consequences are so devastating when the individual realizes that they actually haven't been loved, or on the way there, they think, how can somebody who loves me treat me so badly as the way that they do? And it devastates them because of their own love for that narcissist. Accordingly, the narcissist never loved you, never will love you, and is utterly incapable of loving you. The second law is everybody must love the narcissist, as exemplified by the smugness of this one's wife and the necessity of either using the truth, Harry did say that he loved her before she did, and she boasts about it, or a revision of history whereby she said it first, but she needs to portray it as him being after her because, of course, she is the centre of attention. A short clip, but tells us so much about the way that the narcissist behaves with regard to the issue of love. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for watching.